Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're diving into something absolutely crucial for anyone navigating retirement. Look, while millions of seniors are out there continuing to pay full price for everyday bills, the government and major utility companies have actually set up these quiet little programs that can literally eliminate or at least dramatically reduce some of your most common expenses. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. They aren't just going to hand you these discounts automatically. No way. You've got to know exactly what programs are out there and exactly what magic phrases to use to unlock them.
All right, so let's get right into it by focusing on 5 specific bills you can slash right now. Now, real quick, before we get too far into the weeds, if you've ever felt like the whole Medicare and Social Security system was designed just to confuse you on purpose, because let's be honest, it often feels that way, there's this fantastic resource out there called the American Retirees Money Playbook. It basically translates every confusing rule, form, and phone number into plain, everyday English. Plus, it's all fact-checked against the latest 2026 government figures. It's been a real game-changer for folks trying to catch Medicare overcharges or track down owed money, so definitely look into that. But for today, we are zeroing in on these 5 specific bills.
Now, we absolutely have to talk about urgency here. Most of the programs we're looking at today have hard, non-negotiable cutoff dates creeping up super fast, mostly right in September or October. And if you miss these deadlines, well, you could be stuck footing the full bill for another entire year. So, the insider knowledge we're going over today, it requires immediate action.
Here's our roadmap for The Explainer. We're going to decode and conquer these 5 expenses together: property taxes, utility debt, the Medicare pharmacy trap, internet retention plans, and finally, water discounts.
Starting off with Section 1, freezing your property taxes. Did you know that around 80% of Americans 65 and older own their homes? And for most, property taxes are literally their largest fixed expense. The thing is, you are legally entitled to have this massive bill reduced, frozen, or even deferred. But again, it's never automatic. Just take a look at how powerful this can be, using the new Texas exemption as an example. So Texas just rolled out a $140,000 school district exemption for homeowners 65 and older. Let's break that down. If your home is valued at $200,000, only $60,000 of it is actually subject to school taxes. At a typical Texas tax rate, just that single exemption saves you $2,000 to $3,000 every single year. That's huge. And it gets better. In a lot of counties, it permanently locks in the actual dollar amount of your school taxes, so it can never increase, completely regardless of what happens to your home's value down the line.
Let's pull up the timeline and see how this plays out across the country. In states like Arizona and Virginia, September 1st is the strict, hard filing deadline for senior valuation freeze programs. You have to get this in to lock in this year's assessed value before those fall reassessments hit. Most other counties across the U.S., their deadlines are also clustered right here in the fall. Oh, and if you live in Florida, keep a really close eye on November 2026. There's a ballot measure coming up that could raise the homestead exemption all the way up to $150,000 starting in 2027.
All right, so here is your primary action item for this week. Pick up the phone, call your county assessor. You can usually find their number printed right there on your property tax bill, and read them this exact script. Please, don't just ask for a generic discount. Use these exact words so you uncover exactly what programs apply to your specific address, and most importantly, you find out that deadline before it sneaks past you.
Moving on to Section 2, erasing past utility debt.
Okay, almost every senior pays an electric or gas bill, right? Now, you might have heard of LIHEAP before. That's the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program. But what you might not know is that expanded income limits mean a lot more middle-class seniors, especially those whose only income is Social Security, now easily qualify for this assistance. But here's where it gets really interesting. There's this secret mechanism inside the program called AMP, which stands for Arrearage Management Program. Literally 90% of people who know about heating assistance don't even have a clue that AMP exists. If you qualify for LIHEAP and you happen to have past due utility balances, a lot of utility companies are federally required to offer you this specific plan.
Let me walk you through exactly how this incredible process works. Let's say a senior has, $4,000 in accumulated utility debt. They get entered into an AMP plan. If they just pay their current regular monthly bill on time for 12 consecutive months, that entire $4,000 in past debt, it is completely erased. It just vanishes into thin air. Now, obviously, the providers aren't going to plaster this on billboards. They don't advertise it, but they absolutely are required to offer it if you explicitly ask.
So how do you take advantage of this? You need to call the National Energy Assistance Referral Line at 1-800-423-720 this fall. Fall is the sweet spot because that's when these programs open up and funds are strictly first come, first served. Though, thankfully, seniors do often get priority access. When you call, whatever you do not ask for a quote-unquote standard payment arrangement. Ask this exact question right here to make absolutely sure you get entered into that debt erasure program.
All right, Section 3, the Medicare pharmacy trap. Listen up, because every senior on Medicare Part D has a massive new protection for 2026, but it's actively causing a really sneaky billing trap right now. Earlier this year, Medicare negotiated substantially lower prices for 10 specific, high-cost drugs. We're talking common medications here, like Eliquis, Jardienza, Januvia, Xarelto, and Pharmaxiga. Now, these price reductions officially took effect on January 1st. But here's the problem. A ton of pharmacy computer systems are lagging way behind. They're still processing seniors' claims under the old, super expensive contract pricing, which means they are wrongly charging you way more than they legally should be.
So the absolutely crucial point here is this specific dollar amount, $2,100. For 2026, the second your out-of-pocket spending on covered drugs hits exactly that magic number, every single covered medication costs you $0 for the rest of the year. I mean, totally free. The crazy part is, many seniors spending, say, $80 to $150 a month on prescriptions are going to cross this threshold this fall and not even realize it.
You really need to protect yourself on this one. Pick up the phone, call your Part D plan's member services, and read them this exact sentence. Seriously, if your pharmacy overcharged you, your plan might actually owe you a refund for the prescriptions you've already paid for this year. And hey, while you've got them on the line anyway, ask them exactly how close you are to hitting that $2,100 cap.
Moving to Section 4, Secret Internet Retention Plans.
So, remember back in June 2024 when the Affordable Connectivity Program ended? That was the one providing $30 monthly internet subsidies. When that went away, bills just absolutely skyrocketed for folks. But let me tell you what actually went down behind the scenes. To stop a massive wave of cancellations, the big providers, think Comcast, Cox, Spectrum, they quietly launched their own internal programs. As you can see, instead of charging those standard advertised rates, they started offering incredibly low retention rates. We're talking plans between $9.95 and $14.99 a month. The catch? Well, standard customer service agents are literally trained to never mention these to you. You have to bypass them and reach a very specific hidden department.
To get past those frontline agents, you've got to use insider wording. Tell them exactly this. You want to be transferred to the low-income retention department. Now, if they play dumb and say it doesn't exist, just politely insist and ask again. Persistence really pays off here. And actually, quick side note, if your single household income is under roughly $20,300 in 2026, don't forget the Lifeline program. It still offers an additional $9.25 monthly discount for basic phone or internet service.
And finally, Section 5, Water Discounts and Checklists.
This is a bill that almost never gets talked about on government benefit lists, simply because it's managed entirely at the local municipal level. But honestly, you probably need this relief now more than ever. Water and sewage costs have surged anywhere from 10 to 15% in just the 2025 to 2026 period alone. A lot of that is driven by aging infrastructure and new environmental mandates. Because of this, for a lot of seniors, these combined monthly bills are suddenly shockingly high, often sitting anywhere from $80 to $150 every single month.
But here's what very few people actually know. Most municipal water districts offer some form of senior water rate assistance. Call the customer service number on your water bill and read this exact script. Now, if the first representative you talk to says no, don't just hang up. Immediately ask to speak with a supervisor. Depending on your local municipality, unlocking these programs can score you anywhere from a 25% reduction on your base rate all the way up to complete bill forgiveness if you happen to be on Medicaid or SSI.
Okay, now if you're sitting there wondering if there's a master key to unlock all of this at once, well, this is it. It's called benefitscheckup.org. It is a completely free 10-minute tool run by the National Council on Aging. Literally, all you do is punch in your zip code and some very basic household info, and it instantly spits out every single federal, state, and local benefit program available at your specific address, all at the same time. It's like having a cheat code for your bills. It's just an amazing resource.
So, to wrap things up, let's go over your September action list. Here are the exact 5 rapid-fire phone calls you need to make this week before those strict deadlines officially expire. Number 1, call your county assessor for your property tax freeze. 2,
Call the Energy Referral Line at 1-800-342-3720 to get that utility debt erased through the AMP program. 3. Call your Part D plan to ensure you're getting your properly negotiated drug prices. 4. Call your internet provider's retention department for that hidden $10 plan. And finally, number 5, call your local water utility for a senior discount.
Right now, millions of seniors are paying these bills in full simply because they don't know these quiet programs even exist. But the savings, they're entirely real, and all you have to do is make a few phone calls. So, looking at our list today, which of these 5 phone calls is going to save you the most money today? Think about it, grab your phone, and please be sure to share this knowledge with anyone else you know who could really use a break on their bills right now.